The City Council meeting. Before Mayor Parker calls the meeting to order, we ask that you please silence all electronic devices. For those of you who have requested to speak, there are 2 podiums in the chamber. The podium in the back is for individuals with mobility concerns. We ask all other speakers to step forward to the front podium. Each podium has a countdown clock located to the speaker's right that will indicate how much time is remaining. A bell will sound when you have 30 seconds left. Speakers registered on the consent agenda items will be taken following the announcements of any items being pulled from consent. Speakers registered on non-consent items other than public hearing or zoning cases will be taken following council announcements. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes to speak on all of the items within those blocks that they registered to speak on. Before you begin your comments, please state your name.
Good evening. Welcome to your 4 City Council meeting. I'll call us to order.
Tonight's invocation will be given by Pastor Chauncey Franks from Texas Christian University Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the pledges of allegiance.
To Mary Maddie Parker and to all City Council members, thank you so much for your leadership. Let us pray. Well, Father God, we thank you so much for the gift of life. We thank you so much for this beautiful day that you have blessed us with. We thank you so much for the city of Fort Worth, your people, this community, everything that makes this place what it is. Father, I just pray that we will continue to work for great unity, that we will continue to work to be one, that we will continue to elevate every part of this city, that when the nation looks to this place, they see a unified front that is honoring you in every facet that you've blessed us with. And so God, bless this meeting, bless our leaders, bless this community. Let us have a heart to listen, to learn, to respect, and more importantly, to love each other. In your son's name we pray, amen.
We will begin with special presentations, the first one being a presentation of Certificate of Recognition to the Eastern Hills Varsity Boys Basketball Team.
Martinez is very proud to present tonight's Certificate of Recognition, so over to Jeanette.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm just so excited for this team at Eastern Hills High School. Highlanders, congratulations on your season. Congratulations to Coach Melvin Miller on a wonderful season and earning the #1 rank in the state. Congratulations to all the students who were a part of the team. I really applaud you for not only being athletes, but also scholars. And also, Coach Asaki is here as well. He's the assistant coach. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 boys that we're recognizing this evening. I know some won't be here. And then we also have assistant coaches Philip Ward, Ray Knight, Trell Moore that are a part of the team, and Tracy Carter, who works really close with the team from Fort Worth PD, who's also an Eastern Hills alum. Coach Miller, will you come to the podium and say a few words while I read the certificate that the boys are going to be receiving? And then you can have a few words. So this certificate of recognition is from District 11. The Office of City Council District 11 is proud to recognize the Eastern Hills High School varsity boys basketball on an exemplary 2023-2024 season. The Highlanders work hard and their dedication to earn the #1 rank in Class 4A by the Texas Association of Basketball Coaches, the 2-time district and by District 9 4A championship, and the 2024 area championship. Under the direction of Coach Melvin Miller, the Highlanders varsity basketball team went from being a young team with 5 wins in the 2022 season to a 28 win team in the 2023 season. Coach Miller's philosophy of discipline, patience, and camaraderie helped the young men channel their skills and bring excitement to the East Side community. I commend the Eastern Hills High School varsity boys basketball team, coaches, and staff for all the time and effort that they have put into making the team succeed. They have represented the East Side and Fort Worth exceptionally well. And so this certificate will be presented to each of the boys here, and I also have Molly pins for all of you. So, Coach Miller, if you could say a few words, and then we'll take a picture.
Yes, thank you for having us. We appreciate your time. This is a very special group. We started off this year with high expectations, but there were some things we were lacking on, like we didn't have a gym, we didn't have a locker room, just some other tangibles that we were without. So I reached out to Officer Carter, who reached out and helped us, put out a few posts, made some calls, and things started pouring in. We got uniforms donated, we got a couple pair of shoes donated, we got travel bags, and we're in the process now of raising funds to try to get the boys maybe out of state to a tournament to get them some exposure and some experience that will help them along their path getting towards college. So once again, I do thank you for having us, and we plan to hit the ground running, trying to bring home state championship next year.
Mayor, I will be joining Jeanette down there. Eastern Hills was in District 8, prior to the redistricting. So I'll be joining for a picture. Thank you.
I hope Jeanette gave you the permission to join her. That's why you dressed up
I
today.
had no choice.
Mayor Parker, Officer Tracy Carter has a small presentation for Jeanette and for the City Council.
Of course. Officer Carter.
Okay, hello. Thank y'all for having me. My team, my whole high school, this is a proud moment, okay? And so one of the things I just want to give you, Mayor, is we're working with the boys and the young girls about challenges that they're having as far as life experience, things about just college readiness, just being better people. The parents are doing a great job with what they have going, but our kids are having some adverse situations, what they're dealing with over there. And it's just, we're just trying to pour into them as much as we can. Again, I want to present you with something.
I'll come right down.
Okay,
Yeah.
if you don't mind. Jeanette, if you, Councilman Martinez.
Yes, and actually, I'm sorry, Mayor and Council, I neglected to read off the students' names. So Messiah Miller, Alex Barther, Caden Walker, Stalin Briggs, Cian Briggs, Keyshawn Jackson, Jeremy Tompkins, Dante De La Paz, Dorian Johnson, and Camden McGilvory, sorry if I butchered your name, and Rylan Brown. Congratulations.
So it looks like Officer Carter handed us a T-shirt. Sorry, Council, you don't get one apparently. And unless you guys can wear a small, right? That works for you.
Thank y'all.
So it looks like the nonprofit is called Beyond Change, that is devoted to helping our young people and these beautiful young men make it to the next level. We're so proud of you. I can't wait to watch you in the March Madness tournament, right, in the future. Does that sound like a plan? Awesome. Okay. Thank you very much.
Next will be a presentation of certificates of recognition for the Dunbar varsity girls basketball team.
And this is Mayor. This one's all yours.
Absolutely. I got my Wildcat jacket with me too tonight. Now I'm going to call a few names, and as I call your name, young ladies, I want you to come to that podium where that TV screen is. Suzanne Oliver will be joining you. Ariel Duran. Jordan McIntosh. Dallas Henry. Is Tommy Graves here? What about Tamia Johnson? Amia Albert? Brooke Howard? Michaela? Tayana? Tania? Kenya? Brianna? And Danzel, and the coach. I will join you in a few seconds because Candace Isaac is the head coach, 4-time Coach of the Year for Wildcat Country. This is a certificate of recognition from the Office of District 5. Your school is in District 5. Whereas the Paul Lawrence Dunbar High School Lady Wildcats varsity basketball team's hard work, dedication, and determination propelled them to the UIL regional qualifiers in the 2023-2024 season. And whereas under the leadership of 4-time Coach of the Year, Candace Isaac, joined by her parents here tonight, the Lady Wildcats have won the district championship for the 4th year in a row and by district championship for the 2nd year in a row. Y'all can clap. And whereas the Lady Wildcats have obtained an undefeated, dang, y'all bad, 45-0. Y'all didn't lose anything? Okay. Wow, district game-winning streak. And now, therefore, I congratulate the Paul Lawrence Dunbar High School Lady Wildcats varsity basketball team, their coach, her parents, and staff for a dominating season. They have outstandingly represented Fort Worth ISD and Fort Worth. This certificate is presented to the coach of the Dunbar Lady Wildcats, and it's signed by me, your school's council person, Gina Bivens. And now we're going to turn around and take a picture, okay? Now, Coach, get to the microphone. Oh, we got one more. Thank you. Coach, tell us what it took to win.
First, I would like to just thank the council for the invite. Also, Council Bivens, thank you for your support. Thank you, City of Fort Worth, Dunbar alum, Dunbar parents, Dunbar students. It took a village this year. I am so proud of these ladies. And I'm gonna try not to cry because I've had them. They've been on varsity since they were freshmen. So this is their last year. I had 8 seniors this year. And when I say I am so proud of them, not even more so about athletics, but who they are as people. I'm proud of their character, because I always tell them that basketball is secondary to me. I want to see you in the future when your wives and your mothers and your CEOs, because I speak that into their future, CEOs and lawyers and everything. So I'm so proud. I have one that's graduating at 16, and she's going to play ball at Paul Quinn College. I have another one that's undecided that's going to play ball. The rest of them are going on academic scholarship. one softball. I have one that's missing here that's going on flag football. They all had jobs all year long.
Awesome.
They had jobs. And so I always tell them that, enjoy your high school, do whatever you can, be friends and be family. One of our girls right here, she has family on because that's who we are. And I want them to know that. So I didn't want to just say something by myself, but I wanted them up here because they are my family, and I know, because I'm not a crier, but, this is a lot for me, for them. But I'm so proud of them. And I just want to thank my parents because they're my foundation. Yeah. My parents, can you stand up? Just stand up, Mavon. They're there at every game. I've had a basketball since I was 5. So my parents have been there between grade school, high school, college ball. They've been there. And I just want to thank the community because this is so special for these young ladies. Yeah. So proud of them. No, don't cry. Don't forget your flag.
Coach Isaac, thank you so much for bringing these young women to see us today. I feel like you need a podcast of inspiration or something. If every kid could have you in their lives, this world would be just fine, right? Congratulations, you ladies, and all your hard work and accomplishments. We can't wait to see what you do next, that's for sure. And y'all should know, Gina didn't just wear that jacket tonight. She wears it proudly almost all the time. So it wasn't a novelty for the evening. Okay, Jeanette, you can go for it. Thank you.
Next,
Thank y'all. Bye-bye. Okay.
next will be items withdrawn from the consent agenda.
There are no items to be withdrawn from the consent agenda,
Items to be continued or withdrawn by staff.
and there are no items to be continued or withdrawn by staff.
Mayor, that gets us to the speakers on the consent agenda items, and I believe we have 3.
Thank you. We do. Our first speaker on consent is Sam Knight, followed by Brandon Middleton, and then to Adrian Smith. Okay, thank you, Sam. Brandon Middleton? Is Brandon here? Okay, I only have position. And Adrian Smith? I think Adrian's here. There he is.
Adrian Smith. I am one with the people. And to those young people who are present on tonight, I just want to say one thing, keep going. Historic. I'm here to speak on MMC 24-0203, MMC 24-0209. Historic. Famous or important in history, or potentially so. Now, I underline that last part, or potentially so. This first MMC deals with infrastructure improvements in the historic Southside community that's been in dire need of it for years upon years upon years. 20 plus years and counting from this city. The historic Southside, like other communities of disenfranchisement, continue being the forgotten. 20 years of promises, and still there's no real focus for its continued sustainability. And I'm for this project, this MMC, because again, it's for infrastructure improvements, this, that, or the other, that's necessary. But however, council, you have left a bad taste in my mouth, because that last thing you did when you pulled that project from them, that development project from them, it left a bad taste in my mouth, and I will not let up until you all correct it. Until you all correct it, because that corporation was well capable of doing what it set out to do, a multi-billion-dollar corporation. But I digress. Again, Until you do right by this community, I'm not letting up. Now, as far as MMC 2402-0209, this deals with ammunition, this, that, or the other for our various law enforcement agencies here in the city. My question to this council is, law enforcement does have a budget that they operate from, right? And then we have CCPD funding, right? So please explain to myself, those who are present and those watching at home, why is this, I mean, it's necessary, but why can't we allocate these funds from the CCPD or their general budget? And in closing, let's see. Thought I had something. 10 seconds. Question. How is that West 7 initiative going?
That's the conclusion of our speakers on the consent agenda. Motion and a second, council. Any other discussion? Please vote. Motion carries.
Next will be announcements by city council members, and including ceremonial travel if needed.
Up first is Councilmember Flores.
Thank you, Mayor Parker. Let's get the presentation up. All right, the Northwest Police Division had its second open house concept, and it's proven to be very fruitful. A lot of people have come there within their own time frame. So we had a lot of departments, city departments present, and other organizations as well. This was a combined one for Districts 2 and 7. Councilmember Blaylock also attended with us. So kudos to Dot Kent, Crime Prevention Specialist for Northwest, and to Eagle Mountain Saginaw ISD for lending us their administration building. It was a great centralized location. Next slide, please. Right, in honor of Black History Month, several of us council members attended the Trinity Metro celebration of 22 years of the African American Historic Wall. And this was a rededication, ribbon-cutting ceremony of the wall, including a tour of the 100-year rail car, visiting the historic marker of William Gooseneck McDonald. So thank you, Trinity Metro, for setting that up. Next slide, please. February 28th, several of us, as you can see in the picture, attended the annual Elected Officials Appreciation Dinner at Joe T. Garcia's in La Puertita. Accommodations there, thanks to Ventura Foods, Community Link, and EMS ISD. Next slide, please. Okay, again, a few of us attended the Girls Inc. Celebration there, their Champions Breakfast. Mayor Parker did opening remarks and very inspiring stories about what young girls can do when provided the resources and good advice given to be strong, smart, and bold. Next slide, please. Billy Bob's Texas. They just completed major renovations, helped them out with guidance on the permit. Thanks to development staff for helping out as well. Marty Travis, General Manager, held a press conference unveiling the new renovated facilities. It's going to improve the guest experience. Thanks to Councilmember Crane, who is also there present to help us ring that in. Next slide. March 2nd was Texas Independence Day, and I have the honor of celebrating by reading the Texas Independence Declaration of Independence. So again, we remember that day and the Native American, Spanish, Mexican, Tejano, and Texian cultures that combined to make our great state the way it is today. God bless Texas. Next slide, please. Also March 2nd, Annual Mayor's Neighborhood Awards. Congratulations to all the awardees. I won't belabor the point. There were none, unfortunately, from District 2, but other districts were represented. Next slide, please. March 6th, we attended the Tarrant County Education Foundation Art of Giving Luncheon benefit of the United Negro College Fund through Tarrant County Education Foundation scholarships. Again, our mayor was present as a keynote speaker. Next slide, please. National League of Cities, several council members and I attended that conference, and we celebrated by attending the diversity breakfast, and at that breakfast, the city of Fort Worth was recognized for its warrant forgiveness program. Our Mayor Pro Tem, Gina Benefits, went ahead and accepted that award on our behalf, and we joined her on stage. Thank you, Gina. Next slide, please. All right, March 16th, had fun. And this job is hard sometimes, but every now and then you get to do something really good. It was one of the celebrity judges judging the best burgers in town with Trey's Chow Down. Congratulations to the top 2 category winners. Smashville for the conventional category, and Dane's Craft Barbecue for the non-conventional. Full disclosure, let's see, I sampled 15 burgers and ate 3 or 4 full ones, so got to work that off. Next slide, please. Announcements. All right. Walk the Trail Day, and I have to give kudos to TCU's Harrods College of Nursing, led by Dr. Cancelini, for working with park staff to give Trail Connections a good fresh view. They worked in conjunction with our Parks Department, and now we're opening that trail. Again, Connections realized, thank them very much. There's going to be snacks, giveaways, education about the trails, future connections to Marine Park. So come on by and take a picture with TCU Super Frog. All right, 2 Easter-related topics. Get ready to crack your eggs. Saturday, March 23rd from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., the Northwest Division is going to have a spring carnival on Saturday, and it's going to be at the new Diamond Hill Community Center at 1700 Northeast 37th Street. There's going to be a bike rodeo, children's Easter egg hunt, bring your baskets, emergency vehicle touch, a truck area, games for the kids, safety exhibitions, lowrider show, and food. Free family fun, y'all, so come on out. Friday, March 22nd, 4:30 to 5:30 p.m., the Northside Community Easter egg hunt at the Community Center at 1100 Northwest 18th Street will be held. So they're going to be different hours for different ages. For more details, call 817-392-5992. And one more Easter egg extravaganza here Saturday, also March 23rd, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., and that's going to be the North Triathletic Community Center, 2950 Roosevelt Avenue. So again, for information there, 817-392-5200. And one more announcement related to the Panther Island strategic reports. We received those final reports from HRNA consultants, so we're going to have a community open house to get more information about that Thursday, March 28th, 4 to 6 p.m. at the Rosemarine Theater Gallery at 1440 North Main Street. So please tell others who are interested in learning more about that project. Thank you. That's all I got.
Thank you, Carlos. Councilmember Larsdorf.
There we go. All right. All right, we recently had our coffee with the cop, thanks to North Division up in Starbucks. It was great attendance by some of our finest men and women of the Fort Worth Police Department. Some of our locals came out. It was always a great time to see them out there mingling. Next slide. Our district director, Booker Thomas, did a ride-along with one of our fine police officers, actually for a couple days, just kind of get just some ground truth on some things going on in the area. You know, unfortunately, recently we had a young student hit by a vehicle in a crosswalk. And so while we were out there trying to figure out what we can do to make some improvements, and to that end, I'll get to some of those here in just a second. But this way we can actually have a ground truth on what's going on out there and what we can do to keep our kids safe and our residents safe. Now you also see a barrier that was put up recently by TPW. Huge shout out to them, to Lauren and her staff for acting on that quickly. At first, this is really because we had some unlicensed vendors who were out there. And at first, I had no real issues with them, but after finding out that they were ripping off some residents, I said, well, how can we stop them from setting up shop? TPW wasted no time at all with getting this barrier set up to hopefully prevent that from happening. Next slide. In our community, we will have our warrant forgiveness event coming up soon. It's on 4/20, no coincidence whatsoever. That is a random date, but the location is to be determined. So once we get that, we will be pushing that out. But for any residents there, the North Fort Worth area who may have warrants out, we will make sure we get this information out so we can help you guys out. So, next slide. That's it.
And Mayor Pro Tem Bivens.
I guess, thank you. You just saw a picture from Councilmember Flores with the National League of Cities, and you just heard Councilmember Charlie talk about warrant forgiveness. Well, warrant forgiveness program is how we ended up being recognized for a diversity award at the National League of Cities. If you look up under there, you'll see a big old smile on my face. I'm a member of the board of directors for NLC. And this was just to show you how many leaders show up from all around the country. In that top right-hand corner, even though that guy looks sleepy, he's not. I just caught him when he blinked. But yeah, really, they were talking about childcare and after-school programs. It was standing room only for that program, and I'm connecting with a number of local child care providers to see if they are aware of the information that was shared with me while in DC. And finally, it's time to get on the bus. 100 years is how long the National League of Cities has been around. And what they plan on doing is touring cities all around the country to celebrate this 100 years. And so we got a chance to take a picture outside the bus. When I got on the bus, I was not impressed. And I didn't think the president really rides that bus all the time, and he does not. We don't know if it's going to come to Fort Worth or not, but we had a wonderful conference with the elected officials from all around the country attending. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Gina, and to Councilmember Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. A few announcements. First of all, it was so amazing to be able to go to the Como chili cook-off with my daughter, baby Janelle. And so thank you, Como community, for inviting us. It was hands down some of the best chili I've probably ever had. Next slide. And also, we recently celebrated both nominees and winners from District 6 for the Neighborhood Awards. And so congratulations to all the winners, especially the D6 winners, and special shout out to the Lake Como Neighborhood Advisory Council, Hewlin Heights, Chisholm Trail Ranch, for representing District 6 and the city of Fort Worth so well. Your outstanding efforts and unwavering community spirit have not gone unnoticed, so congratulations again to all the neighborhoods and especially the District 6 neighborhoods. Next slide. Two announcements related to events. I'd be remiss if I didn't also say that Neighbor of the Year was Carol Kirby Brown. Ms. Brown is a giant in the Como community, and so Ms. Brown, if you're watching, congratulations as well, and well deserved. Two events coming up. The District 6 Litter Day. The weather is now nice, so we'll be back outside doing our part to keep Fort Worth beautiful. So join us for our Litter Day this Saturday from 8:30 to 10:30 a.m. We'll be meeting at Lake Como Park. And special shout out, as always, to the Keep Fort Worth Beautiful team for all of your help in preparing for this event. And then lastly, there's a citywide job fair. I want to make sure that District 6 does its part to get the word out. Saturday, April 6th, come out to the citywide job fair. It's from 9 to 12 p.m. at the Amon Carter, the Amon Center. Lord, help me out. Amon Carter Exhibit Hall at Will Rogers Memorial Center. And don't forget to bring your resume. Lots of great opportunities, including your next opportunity. So be sure to stop by. With that concludes my announcements, Mayor. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, and to Councilmember Hill.
I just have one from, saw a sneak peek of something I don't think I was supposed to see.
Yep, you weren't.
Oh, darn it, y'all. As Councilman Flores mentioned, on February the 26th, we had the Northwest Division Police Department held a community town hall at Eagle Mountain Saginaw ISD. We had great conversation, and I really appreciate Dot Kent for organizing it. She is the crime prevention specialist. It was very well attended, and thank you to Commander Kim, his officers, as well as the other divisions within the city and police department for spending their evening with the residents of the Northwest area, District 7, District 2, and thank you, Alan Blaylock, for attending as well.
Councilmember Beck. Oh, Nettles, yeah, I'm sorry, Chris. Chris has something you should have up there.
I'm sorry. One announcement. March the 26th at 6 p.m. at the Lou's Place at Texas Wesleyan, 1112 Wesleyan Street, Fort Worth, Texas, Lot K. We'll be having our police oversight community meeting. This is a meeting we had scheduled in February. It's been rescheduled for March. So please come out and learn about what Bonsia is doing as the independent director for our OPON office. March the 26th at 6 p.m. at Texas Wesleyan in the Lou's Place. Hope to see you there March the 26th. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. And to Councilmember Beck.
All right, y'all bear with me. We've got a lot going on in District 9. Next slide. So many of us on this dais got to attend the ribbon cutting of the Sid Richardson Agricultural Hub at the Tarrant Area Food Bank. It's such a great asset to the city of Fort Worth and Tarrant County and the state as a whole. So super proud to be part of that, and super proud to get to work with Jared Williams, who is also officially a member of the Tarrant Area Food Bank team. Next slide. Had the opportunity to attend a Women's Day panel at TCC. It's always great to give back to the place where I started. Next slide. Speaking of giving back, I threw my back out, but in the meantime, we did do the Habitat for Humanity Women's Day build. So that was always that's always a great cause, and I would encourage anyone who's interested in helping the community to give a couple hours to help build a home. Next slide. All right, this weekend we had the Fort Worth African American Roots Music Festival right here in District 9. It was great, and I hope to see more of you out next year. All right, next slide. All right, you see me very excited holding a door open, and I'd like to have all of you meet me March 29th, next Friday at 9:30 a.m. I know that we have heard from our downtown residents that they want the library service restored into downtown. And so while we are continuing our search to find a permanent location, city staff and our library have set up a little mini library right here in City Hall. So if you're a city employee or if you're a downtown resident or just want to come check out a book, you can do it right here at City Hall. Next slide. All right, we've got March Madness coming up on March 24th from 1 to 5 at Maple Branch Craft Brewery. Have a couple beers and grab a couple dogs. Next slide. We have the Queer Professionals Network networking event coming up at Barge Rice Thursday, March 28th. Next slide. Fire Station Community Easter Extravaganza, March 30th from 10 a.m. to noon. Next slide. Movies That Matter. So join us April 4th at 7 p.m. If you'd like to know more about the Movies That Matter programming or upcoming movies, you can go to the City of Fort Worth's Diversity and Inclusion page. You can also register for your tickets online. Next slide. All right, April 3rd at 11:30 at the Wedgwood Library, we will be having an eclipse party. Do not look directly at the sun, but you're more than welcome to come join library staff and grab a pair of glasses and enjoy our eclipse. All right, and then the watch party is April 8th, and so grab your glasses on the 3rd, and then head out to Greenbrier Community Center from 1 to 2, Fire Station Community Center from 12:30 to 2, and Southwest Community Center from 12 to 2 on the 8th to watch that eclipse. Next slide. All right, the Zoo Run is coming up April 6th. I'm sure that we'll see many of my colleagues, maybe one of them in some short shorts. Are you going to do that? All right, so Chris said he's in again, so if y'all want to join him out there for the Zoo Run, he promises his outfit will not disappoint. Next slide. The Wedgwood Garden Club is having their annual spring plant sale. If you are a plant person or if you're like me and you like to buy them and then immediately kill them, this is a great place to go and replenish, and it helps their efforts to keep Wedgwood beautiful. Next slide and last slide. All right, coming up April 13th from noon to 6 on Magnolia, we are bringing back open streets, so grab your bike, your skateboard, your Heelys, whatever it is you want to move in and around the street. We'll have it shut down, and there'll be lots of vendors there to help you enjoy that. And that is all I have.
Thank you. And Councilmember Blaylock.
Thank you, Mayor. I have one item today, and it's the announcement for the TCEQ public meeting related to a concrete permanent batch plant that's proposed in District 10. The plant will be at the intersection, if it's approved, of Old Denton Road and 170. So the public meeting is set for Monday, April 15th, 2004 at 6:00 p.m. at the Timber Creek High School cafeteria. We hope everyone will come out, register their concerns with TCEQ and express them there. It's important for everyone to speak out on these issues to make sure that they're getting what they want in their communities. This particular location is directly across the street from Northwest ISD's future High School 4. It's in close proximity to the Opal another apartment complex and 2 residential neighborhoods that would be directly impacted negatively. So thank you, please.
Thank you, Alan. We're going to make them go backwards since Macy already saw it. But our colleague, despite the myth that we're here working all the time on council, we actually have other lives. And Councilmember Hill just completed a tremendous feat. We think she's the first person in Tarrant County to do this, but the Abbott World Marathon Majors, which means she has completed all 6 world marathons across the United States, completing in Tokyo just 2 weeks ago. We're so proud of her. I've run with Macy. She's much faster than me, but she lets me chase her most mornings. I just thought it was important that you know that despite the busy lives that all of us lead, we're also doing great things in the community. Give her a round of applause for completing such a great thing. Yeah. Thank you. I think that's the last of our presentations.
Next will be speakers on non-consent agenda items, Mayor, and I believe we have 7.
Okay, I'm up next here. Our first speaker on non-consent is going to be Bob Willoughby, followed by Abraham Benavidez.
Well, you probably can't read what's at the top, but that's all right. That's what it shows on the agenda. That's good. That's good. That's fine. It shows what would be on the agenda, and it also shows what would be up there, but Mayor Matty Parker, you changed that where we can't see what we're talking about up there. So that's bad. That's really bad. Anyway, what it says in there, here's what I'm talking about in this resolution right here, same with many others. The most important thing that's missing on the agenda in this thing, when you read the agenda, money. Root of all evil, money. Look what's missing when you go in there. That's 17, that's a lot of zeros. $17 million. Adrian put something up a while ago about $88,000. Makes that look like a drop in the bucket, don't it? $17 million. Now, I'm not saying this organization's not good. I don't know, I hadn't investigated them. I do know that you gave out a lot of money to organizations that aren't good, like the VIP. You gave $800,000 of CCP funds to Rodney, and we can't get an audit on that, okay? But nevertheless, what I'm getting at here, more important to stay on top of it, so you don't shut me down, is that the resolutions, and when you write this stuff on the agenda, try to give us a little bit of important stuff instead of burying it way off on that website down in there, okay? Like now here, like if you would have put removing the public presentation from the agenda, which I got to thank you tonight, is a comment meeting, but you put a council meeting tonight here. I appreciate that. We don't even have that now tonight. You got you here. If you would have put that on the agenda, removing the public presentation from the city council meetings, on that agenda, like on top up there, and if it read that in there, more people would have seen that. And maybe more people might have said something about it and we'd have a different outcome, but you buried that way off in there so no one can see that. Along with everything else you bury way off. So, same point I'm making again here, and I had before about our damage control up here, it's the reading. Now, this New Hope, what we learned too, a lot of these organizations have great names. Police, that's something to be respected, but not the police association. They give money to these candidates. Why do they do that? They buy candidates. That's Chicago-style mafia stuff. Firefighters should be a respected name, but the Firefighter Association buys candidates. Star-Telegram should be a neutral paper, but instead, it endorses candidates. Matter of fact, Star-Telegram used to publicize all the candidates. Gina Bibbins in there, and me, I'm in there too in 15, but they stopped that. They decided to tell you who to vote for. And we're not gonna let you know. That's what I'm talking about in this resolution, but you don't tell us what we need to know. And that's very wrong. You should inform the people what's going on in this city. If they ever found out, they might be down here with pitchforks and knives if they ever know what you're really doing, because it's bad. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Abraham Benavidez, followed by Teresa Wilson.
Good evening, Council. I'm Abe Benavidez. I'm with the law firm of McCall, Parkerson, Horton, and we are bond counsel in connection with the financing that was the item that was spoken on with the prior member of the public. We're here to answer any questions on the item whenever it's time to do so. I'm also here with a representative of Fort Worth Country Day as well. I would just make one point that the financing contemplated in that approval and the amount of the financing, those are not obligations of the city of Fort Worth. They are obligations that go back to Fort Worth Country Day and a loan that they are taking out. So the approval that we're asking for today on that item is an approval of the city of Fort Worth, approving Fort Worth Country Day to seek that financing that they will pay off because it's their debt.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Important clarification. We'll call you back up if we have any questions on the item. Thank you. Our next speaker is Teresa Wilson. Ms. Wilson.
Yes, I only wanted to speak if there was a question about the Pioneers Rest Cemetery.
I don't think we do at this moment, but thank you for making the time to be here tonight. We'll call you back up if we had any questions. Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Tom Mitchell. Is Tom here? You're good. Okay, thank you, Mr. Mitchell. Melanie Smith.
Yes, I'm here. I'm the president of Pioneers Rest Cemetery Association. And again, like Teresa said, if there's not any opposition.
Yes, ma'am. We have people watching, but understood. I'll call you back up maybe when we get to the item. Thank you so much. And Julie Griffin.
Members of City Council, Mayor. I'm Julie Griffin. I live at 2128 Park Place Avenue. I just wanted to add my voice in support of the pilot program that y'all are going to be voting on that helps those who are unhoused and who are severely mentally ill. Your innovative efforts, and I'd like to point out innovative, to assist and engage those on the streets with severe mental illness by offering psychiatric care and immediate access to supportive housing is worthy of full support. Caring for the health and well-being of those most vulnerable among us in this way makes me proud of our city. I hope our county leaders are watching, and I wish it success. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Griffin. Our next speaker is Nan Terry.
I only want to speak if there's opposition.
Thank you. Council, that's the conclusion of our non-consent agenda item speakers.
Mayor and Council, our next item will be 24-4119, Board appointments from the City Manager's Office for
This is for the Fort Worth Art Commission, correct? Thank you. Just for clarification, it's Mr. Philip Newbern, position 5, art professional, design, with a term beginning on March 19th, 2024, with expiration on October 1st, 2025. And it is a partial term. If anybody had any questions or would like to review an application resume, that is available in the City Secretary's office. I have a motion. Who is the second? Apology. Thank you. Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Please vote. Motion carries.
Next item is 24-4137.
We've got a motion and a second. I think Councilmember Hill had one item on this.
My children attend Fort Worth Country Day, and the city's attorney's office had advised me that I do not have a conflict in this situation. However, to avoid any potential questions or the appearance of impropriety, I'm requesting to recuse myself from participating on this item.
Thank you, Councilmember Hill. Mr. Benavidez, do you mind coming back to the microphone really quickly? I just have one quick question that might be helpful for the public. You alluded to this earlier in layman's terms, maybe for someone watching again. This is an interesting opportunity for a private institution to be able to utilize to secure financing. Maybe just mention that it's an IRS code item and that you just need our approval to proceed. These are not city tax dollars that are being utilized, correct?
That's correct. It is a procedural hoop that the school needs to jump through, basically, which is that being an approval of a local governmental entity in which their facility is located. So that is the city, and with that approval, they are able to issue their obligations, which are not obligations of the city. All payment obligations run to the school.
Thank you very much. We're very proud of all the accomplishments of Fort Worth Country Day, and with that, I think we have a motion and a second. Please vote, Council. Motion carries.
Next item is 24-4138.
Thank you. Motion and a second. Sorry, my screen was slow. I'm slow, one or the other. Motion and a second. Please vote. Motion carries.
Next item is ZC-23-173.
Councilmember Martinez.
Thank you, Mayor. I think Mr. Torado's here. Did you want to say any words about this? I do plan on approving, but I just wanted to share that this was recommended for denial by the zoning commission. I think they got it wrong. I drove by this property. It's pretty well maintained, and you can't hold, one property owner liable for neighboring properties that are deteriorating. So I think you will be a good neighbor. Please continue to be so. And with that, I motion to approve.
Motion and a second. Council, please vote. Motion carries.
Next item is ZC-23-189.
Councilmember Blaylock.
So in this instance, CC 23-189 has a companion annexation case that did not make it onto the agenda. As such, I'm going to motion to continue this zoning case 1 week until March 26th.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion, council? Please vote. Motion carries.
Next item is ZC-23-193.
And Councilmember Larsdorf, we do have one speaker on this item, Mr. Gary Wright. Mr. Wright here? Right. Charlie, I'll turn to you.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Nunez, I believe you're here, correct? Is that right? I think someone told me he was here. Maybe he already stepped out. Nonetheless, while I appreciate anyone trying to bring business to North Fort Worth, especially District 4, I think we all know the running joke whenever we see a building under construction is it a liquor store or a smoke shop? And while normally my preference is we let the market dictate what sort of business comes in and people will decide with their wallet if they want or don't want something. In this case, where I think you have a business that's negatively affecting our youth, and we see it in our middle schools, in our high schools, and our youth being so heavily marketed to when it comes to these vape shops and smoke shops, that causes me to pause. And while our city attorneys advised me not to say what I wanted to say, I will just leave it at that. While I personally do not want to see any more smoke shops or vape shops in the city of Fort Worth, ultimately it's not my call alone. So to that end, I actually polled a lot of our neighborhoods in my area, and out of 700 respondents, there's only about 50 who said that they would actually support another smoke shop. The other 650 plus were very much opposed to it. So that being said, again, while I appreciate wanting to bring the business to North Fort Worth, I move to deny with prejudice.
Got a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion carries.
Next item is ZC-23-194.
Councilmember Martinez, we do have one speaker on this item, Ms. Phyllis Allen.
Good evening. Good evening, Council. I am the president of the United Riverside Neighborhood Association. It's late for me. This is past my bedtime. And I'm here today to talk about the fact that in 2019, our neighborhood did the really difficult work that had not been done in our neighborhood since 1940. And that was sitting down, looking at zoning, and coming up with a zoning plan that we thought would give our neighborhood the kind of continuity going forward in the future and bring in the kind of residents that we wanted to help us have a stable neighborhood. It has been very effective. In the year 2000, when I built my house, I could not get a mortgage loan. I had to partner with the city of Fort Worth to get a mortgage loan to build my house. Now, fast forward to 2023, the last house that sold in our neighborhood sold for over $400,000. That is both a blessing and a curse. And I realize that, but what we don't want is we don't want any more duplexes. We said that very specifically. We specifically said no duplexes because we have duplexes. So if you'd like to rent in our neighborhood and live in a duplex, there are lots of them. Come on, we don't need any more. And the second thing about that is when I was at the zone, when I was hearing the zoning case, the person who's building in my neighborhood said that he decided to build in our neighborhood because we were an undesirable neighborhood. So now, I don't know anybody who really wants to have someone partner in your neighborhood who views your neighborhood as undesirable. So I am asking the council to uphold zoning's unanimous decision to deny this.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. Councilmember Martinez, I believe that's the only speaker we have on this item. For some reason, your light's not coming on.
Yeah. I received many letters of opposition for this. Hi.
Sorry, sir, you can't speak unless asked on this item. At this moment, you didn't sign up to speak. You just have to wait just a moment on Councilman Martinez. Thank you.
Are you the property owner?
Sir, I think Jeanette's asking you a question.
Sir, are you the property owner? Oh,
Sorry.
I'll allow you to speak, please, before my comments are made.
Councilman Martinez, I think, had a question.
Sir, did you want to make a comment?
Yes, I live right there on 2763 Rouse on the property, and I'm against building duplex. I'd rather if they build more residential families.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
So we received several letters of opposition, and I do know that many neighbor associations in Riverside did go through the process of rezoning, downzoning from B to A5. So I will stand with the neighbor association in this case and deny with prejudice.
Got a motion and a second. Council, any other discussion? Please vote. Motion carries.
Next item is ZC-23-198.
Councilmember Bivens, we do have one speaker on this item, Mr. Juan Vasquez.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and council members. My name is Juan Vasquez. I'm representing Flint Hill Resources, who is bringing the zoning case before you. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Councilmember Bivens, do you have any questions?
No.
No? You're good?
Yeah.
I think that's it, Mr. Vasquez. Thank you. I'll turn it to you, Mayor Pro Tem.
I haven't had any complaints about this zoning change. I thought I would, but I didn't. And so with that, I will uphold the zoning commission's recommendation for approval and move to approve.
Thank you. Motion and a second. Council, any other discussion? Please vote.
It's cold in here.
Please.
Next item is ZC-23-199.
We have no speakers on this item. Councilmember Blaylock.
So I will uphold the recommendation of the Zoning Commission and motion to approve.
Motion a second, please vote. Motion carries.
Next item is ZC-23-201.
Motion a second, either discussion, please vote. Motion carries.
Next item is ZC-23-203.
Got a motion and a second, other discussion, council? Please vote. Motion carries.
Next item is ZC-23-204.
Councilmember Hill, we have a few speakers on this item. Our first is Mary Nell Poole, followed by Ryan Smith.
Good evening, Council. Mary Nell Poole, Town Site 2918 Wingate here in Fort Worth. We brought this case to you last June. You may remember we're going to do a bill for rent, and we filled the chamber with people who wanted single-family homes. We lost, and the developer went back and re-looked at his plan and decided to come back and do it as single-family. We came to the neighborhood association, told them that we realized that's what they wanted and that's what we would do. And so we brought that forward. We got a favorable staff recommendation, and today, in speaking with Councilwoman Hill, she tells me that she believes that there is danger on the road and does not want to move forward with that. We did do a traffic analysis last June that showed that traffic on that road was not high enough to warrant a four-way stop. There had not been enough accidents or enough AM or PM traffic to warrant those. I know that there are conditions on the road, but our concern is that if the use is good but the road is in bad condition, or is this a de facto moratorium that you're not going to allow anything on this project? If the city has to come up with a plan to improve the road before development can occur, is this going to be 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? When can we develop the property? If it's not the use, it's the road, then what do we do, and what is the timeline for that? I would ask for a continuance so that we could at least discuss that, because we've not had a chance to discuss that with the developer. But those are our questions that we'd really like to know. What is it going to take to be able to develop this property? And how long is it going to take? Thank you. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Poole. Any questions at this time? Okay. Our next speaker is Ryan Smith, followed by Jeff O'Quinn. Please.
Good evening, Council and Mayor. My name is Ryan Smith. I'm president of the Northwest Fort Worth Alliance. I represent about 32 neighborhoods in that Northwest quadrant. We certainly do support single family, but that road, as everybody on this council knows, probably has been left off the thoroughfare plan, and there's no plans to improve it. So it is the right call to not support this at the current state of that road. It's deteriorating on a daily basis, so that I'm not going to take too much of your time. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Our next speaker is Jeff O'Quinn, followed by David Mendez.
Thank you, Mayor Parker and City Council, for your service to our community and city. My name's Jeff O'Quinn. My wife Debbie and I live on the south side of this development. We live at the corner of 10 Mile Bridge and Bowman Roberts, so we get a bird's eye view of the traffic situation, but that's been discussed. My major concern is the police and fire services in that area. There is over 1,000 apartment units that are coming online with less than a mile from this development. That's going to put a very big strain on our city services. We really don't need to add to that problem also. So that's my concern that I want to bring up. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mendez. Councilmember Hill, that's the conclusion of our speakers on this item. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I check. I know who you are, David. Come on down. Jeff, thank you for speaking. I'm back on track. You, what's that?
We do look a lot alike.
Exactly, yeah.
Mayor and Council, David Mendez. I'm the president of Marine Creek Ranch Homeowners Association that is jointly joined to this project by Bowman Roberts. The same thing I said last time to this council was that Bowman Roberts is an orphan road. It is one of the many roads in Fort Worth that has been left off the master thoroughfare plan. And without a plan for improvement, it is irresponsible of this council to add more impact to this road. Also, something I said last time was that many developers, when they pick land to buy, it's on contingent of purchase of a zoning change. This land was bought as is in the zoning intact. While it's a developer's right to change that zoning is not guaranteed by you because you have to take into account things like road, safety, future plans, and all these things are conflicting with this property. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mendez. Councilmember Hill, that's the conclusion of our speakers on this item.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to call Lauren Priere, Director of Transportation and Public Works.
Yes, ma'am. How can I help?
Lauren, will you kind of give us an update on the status of Bowman Roberts, if it is planned to be on the master thoroughfare plan, and the status of the roads surrounding that area?
Sure. So the master transportation plan process, also known as Moving a Million, is currently underway. So we'll be adding corridors like Bowman Roberts that are not currently part of the local MTP network through this process. So our current plan is to add the corridor to the list of project development priorities and scope the project to be phased over maybe 1 or 2 bond programs, depending on the scope of the work. The public can expect engagement either in person or online on this corridor and other 2026 candidates in the spring.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Melinda Ramos, would you please, sorry, will you come to the mic? Could you define de facto moratorium for me and what that means in this context?
It would essentially mean where the council takes continual action to deny cases, certain cases in certain circumstances. I don't believe that to be the case here.
Thank you. With that, I'd like to let Mary Nell know, and I believe Mr. Conger's here as well. I've spent meetings after meetings after meetings with different departments at the city, the stakeholder groups, and the developer themselves. What I don't want is any kind of public safety issue anywhere in Fort Worth. I also don't want to perpetuate the problem of overdeveloping areas when infrastructure is not able to sustain that growth. And in my opinion, this is one of those cases. I move to deny with prejudice, ZC 23204.
A motion and a second. Any discussion, council? Please. Oh, yes, go ahead, Councilman Flores.
Okay. Bowman, this location right here off Bowman Roberts Road where this property is located was previously prior to redistricting in Council District 2. So I'm very familiar with it and the challenges there. Although the proposed development plan is less dense than it was prior, at the core, there persists road conditions that do not lend themselves to safe passage through that. The traffic volume that the prior traffic study alluded to, that's going to change in the very short term. As Mr. O'Quinn referred to, there are some apartments coming online at the corner of Huffines and 10 Mile Bridge, and that's a short distance away from this location. That is a frequently traveled cut-through road, so that's only going to get worse. So again, that remains to be an issue. I know Mary Nell Poole had asked, and I didn't take it as being rhetorical, well, how long? I think we got an idea from Lauren Puryear's testimony. If you go 1 to 2 bond programs, you're looking at anywhere from 4 to 8 years. So hopefully we can get it done sooner rather than later. But again, from a safety standpoint, those roads need to be improved, so I support CM Hill's motion.
Thank you, council. Please vote. And motion carries.
Next item is ZC-23-205.
Councilmember Hill, I don't think we have any speakers on this item.
At the developer's request, we're going to continue this item to April the 9th.
Motion and a second. I think you have a second. Please vote. Gina, try again. Gina, hit your button. There you go. Thank you. Motion carries.
Next item is MNC 24-0199.
I'll entertain a motion, council. Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Please vote. Motion carries.
Next item, Mayor, I believe we're going to take items MNC 24-0204, 0205, 0206 together.
Okay. Councilmember Hill, I'll let you proceed.
I move that the Fort Worth City Council adopt a resolution authorizing use of the power of eminent domain to acquire the following: 0.031 acres in right-of-way easement from property located at 7328 Bob Hanger Street in the Lake Crest Estates Edition, in addition to the City of Fort Worth, Block E, Lot 1, Tarrant County, Texas, and 0.041 acres of land in the right-of-way easement and 0.01 acres for a temporary construction easement from property located at 5941 W.J. Boaz Road in the Lake Crest Estates Edition, in addition to the City of Fort Worth, Block E, Lots 2 and 3, Tarrant County, Texas, from Octavio Meza and Blanca Meza, and 0.349 acres of land in the right-of-way easement and 0.018 acres of land in the drainage easement from the property located at 7450 Bowman Roberts Road in the J. Mock Survey, abstract number 1994, and being a portion of land of portion of a tract of land described as Tract 2C as recorded in instrument number D217090187, Tarrant County, Texas, from Mark English. The land rights and the subject properties are needed for the J.S. Boaz Road Widening Improvements Project, a public use that provides for roadway improvements, including pavement reconstruction with curb and gutter, drainage improvements, street lights, shared use paths, and reconstruction of the existing roundabout at Bowman Roberts Road. The property interest is to be acquired, is described by the meets and bounds and depicted by survey exhibits attached to the mayor and council communications. This motion indicates this is the first record vote, applies to all units of property to be condemned, and the minutes shall reflect that the first vote applies to all of those units.
Got a motion and a second, council? Please vote. Motion carries.
Next will be MNC 24-0208.
Yeah, Mayor, I'm going to enthusiastically move to approve this. Thank you today, and I want to thank staff for pulling this together. I also want to thank you, Mayor, for coming out and walking the Bomber Trail, Bomber Spur with me today. It is a great project, and this is another piece in the puzzle to get this program accomplished. So thank you very much. With that, I move to approve.
Motion and a second. Please vote. Motion carries.
Next item is MNC 24-0185.
Councilmember Beck.
Melanie, if you'd like to come down for just 1 second. A lot of people in this town don't know about Pioneers Rest Cemetery, so if you could give them a 60-second spiel on why it is so very important, important enough for the city to put funds into preserving it.
Thank you, Councilwoman Beck and Mayor Parker and all of you council people. And I'm happy to be here. Pioneers Rest Cemetery was started in 1850 with the deaths of 2 of Major Ripley Arnold's children. It is really the birthplace in many ways of our city. It's 174 years old, and for many years it was known as the Old City Burying Ground. Most people don't know that historic cemeteries do not get government funding, so this is why it's so very important. Our main entrance has deteriorated for 40 years, and so we would really appreciate your consideration on this allotment of funds.
And will you tell folks about Fall Fest just so they can prepare for it next year and we can see them out there?
Yes, we started a wonderful festival, and Teresa Wilson, who is the treasurer, is the chairman of Fall Fest, and with Councilwoman Beck's support, and a lot of city support, we had a wonderful festival where we just want to be an open green space that is inviting to the public and to that densely populated uptown, downtown area of Fort Worth. And so next year will be Sunday, October 13th from 11 to 4, and we invite all of you to come out. We have food trucks, we have farmers market vendors, we have historic reenactors, we have all sorts of history books for sale. All the prominent historians in town come out and support it in our reenactors, and it's a really wonderful day with 2 old-time historic bands, and it's really family-oriented and lots of fun. And Councilwoman Beck has been a great supporter, and we just really appreciate her.
Thank you, and we will, I promise that I'll be out next year, and we'll bring some colleagues, and Chris said that he'd dress up as a character too, if you wanted him to,
Oh,
since we're
good.
volunteering to dress up for everything now.
We'd like for you all to come and do that.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So thank you for your support.
And with that, I move to approve.
Vote.
Okay.
Motion carries.
Next item is MNC 24-0200.
Councilmember Beck, I know you wanted to say a few things on this item. I know it's goofy tonight. I don't know. They just all went off.
Okay, I'll be real quick. I just really want to thank staff for how quickly they were able to put this project together and get it before us on council. As our speaker mentioned earlier, this is a really innovative way. I continue to be proud of the city of Fort Worth and the way that we take strides to address those in our city that really need that support, whether it be homeless or mental health. And so I see Tara Perez and Lauren King in the audience. And so thank y'all for getting this done so quickly. So move to approve.
And also a big thanks to MHMR for helping make this partnership pilot possible. Please vote. You already spoke, Adrian. I think Jean is, is she gone? I think she's there.
You did not register.
You didn't register to speak on this item, just the consent item earlier. I'll let you talk to Jeanette after the meeting's over, Adrian. Thank you. I think, is that all?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, Mayor.
That's okay. Council, that's the conclusion of our speakers. I do think we had some students here tonight. Am I right? You're just here for the fun? Y'all here from High Point Academy? I saw your sweatshirt, so. I think you're the only class that stayed to the end. Never mind the fact that this was a short meeting tonight, so you got lucky. But we're very glad that you're here. Thank y'all very much for taking the time to attend and watch your city government. Of course, meeting adjourned.